Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, is renowned as the last ruler in a line known as the Five Good Emperors. His reign was characterized by calm and peaceful governance, earning him a distinct place in history. He once shared a profound perspective, stating, "It is not manly to be enraged. Rather, kindness and civility are more human, and therefore more manly. The closer a man comes to a tranquil mind, the closer he is to strength." Aurelius advocated for the strength found in peace rather than conflict, encapsulated in his famous work, The Meditations. This philosophical masterpiece delves into the intricate art of controlling emotions. His insights on emotional regulation draw from the Stoic philosophy, emphasizing rationality, self-awareness, and the acceptance of the natural order. By acknowledging the power of our minds and consciously choosing our responses to external events, we can attain greater emotional control and inner tranquility. Living by the Stoic philosophy meant embracing discipline, justice, fairness, and maintaining robust self-control, especially over one's emotions. Aurelius's Stoic mindset proved invaluable in facing numerous challenges, from Roman battles with other empires to the devastating Antonine Plague. Remarkably, he buried 9 out of his 13 children due to the harsh realities of wars and pandemics. In this video, we'll guide you on the path to emotional control, drawing inspiration from the timeless wisdom of the legendary Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. 1. Embrace your destiny. According to Marcus Aurelius, you have been formed of 3 parts: body, breath, and mind. Of these, the 2 are yours to treat well. The third alone is truly yours. Destiny encompasses all the circumstances in which you find yourself involuntarily. Sometimes life just happens, and it is what it is. When you fully embrace your destiny, you acknowledge the reality that you cannot control every twist and turn of life, no matter how hard you try. So, distance yourself from the notion that your life must adhere to a specific script for you to find true happiness or success. Those who tether their happiness to a rigid plan often find themselves perpetually discontent because life seldom unfolds exactly as they envisioned, leading to self-blame. Instead, be genuinely honest with yourself about what you can control and what you cannot. For instance, factors like bad traffic, unfavorable weather, or even the loss of a loved one can profoundly impact your life, yet you have no control over them. When life throws a curveball, all you can do is accept it. Yet, there are aspects you can control. The time you leave your home, your response to unforeseen events, your thoughts, and even your emotions. It's crucial to understand that Marcus Aurelius did not advocate for passivity. Rather, he encouraged purposeful action in alignment with one's values. We can absolutely set goals, work towards achieving them, explore new horizons, accumulate experiences, and revel in our triumphs. However, it's vital to recognize that life's course may deviate from our plans, and acceptance of this reality is the first step in steering towards a specific goal. But how do we cultivate acceptance of our destiny? Try praying differently and see what happens. Instead of asking for a way to sleep with her, try asking for a way to stop desiring to sleep with her. Instead of a way to get rid of him, try asking for a way to not wish his ruin. Instead of a way not to lose my child, try asking for a way to lose the fear of it. Marcus Aurelius. This insightful quote offers guidance on how to navigate destiny. When you yearn for life to unfold according to a predetermined path, you're attempting to control destiny, setting the stage for potential disappointment. Yet if you focus on managing your emotions, life becomes more manageable. In other words, when life deviates from your expectations, shift your desires. So when confronted with a situation that stirs intense emotions, ask yourself, what can I control? Everything within your control becomes a catalyst for positive action. For aspects beyond your control, strive to accept them and contemplate your response. For example, if you face a sudden job loss, don't resent the world for this unexpected twist. Instead, train your mind to adapt swiftly. You cannot alter the fact of losing your job, but you can seek positive aspects. Is there a dream job you've always aspired to? Can you explore opportunities with better hours? or perhaps find a position that offers a chance to acquire new skills. Alternatively, consider using this unexpected break to recharge before re-entering the job market with renewed vigor. In essence, acknowledge the reality of job loss and proactively consider positive alternatives. Embrace your destiny, seek out positive facets or opportunities in challenges, and you'll discover a profound influence over your emotions. The way we perceive events shapes our emotional responses. Therefore, embracing destiny is a potent tool for emotional control. 2. Challenge your perspective. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. A powerful way to embrace your destiny is by mastering the art of challenging your perspective on life's events. Every experience triggers emotions. These emotions shape the lens through which we see situations, influence our actions, guide our thoughts, and often lead us down unproductive or destructive paths. To counteract this, it's crucial to start challenging the thoughts provoked by these emotions and the narratives they bring forth as soon as they arise. First and foremost, it's important to note that challenging or trying not to act based on certain emotions does not mean ignoring them. In other words, don't suppress, pretend not to feel, or turn a blind eye to them. Doing so is akin to ignoring a child seeking attention, hoping they'll quiet down. Unlike a child, you can't explain your reasoning to your emotions. Most times there's a reason behind your emotions, and ignoring it won't make it disappear. Emotions are often illogical, a natural response to our circumstances and the world around us. They can't be eliminated. They need to be acknowledged and in some cases cared for. And that's what you can control, your perspective on these emotions. But paying attention to them doesn't mean succumbing to them. Instead, observe them, acknowledge their existence, and then challenge them. How? By seeking a positive angle in everything that seems negative. So, for instance, consider every obstacle as an opportunity, every challenge as a chance to prove yourself, and every stroke of bad luck as a humorous anecdote for the future. The Stoics were exceptionally adept at adopting a positive perspective on everything. A more direct guide to achieve this is by asking yourself the following questions. Why does this make me feel anger, stress, frustration? What conclusions am I drawing from this? Is there a more positive way to interpret this situation? Imagine someone who has had a serious disagreement with their partner and feels that the partner is being irrational. This person may feel anger and frustration with thoughts like, I think our relationship is falling apart, or they don't understand me as well as I thought. But these conclusions only intensify anger and frustration, possibly leading to sadness, making the person even more upset. Now, let's see what would happen if this person asked themselves the 3 questions mentioned earlier. The first 2 have already been answered, providing clarity to the person. However, the most crucial work happens with the last question. How can they reverse this situation? Well, instead of contemplating the end of the relationship, think about how working together to solve this problem can strengthen it. Rather than assuming your partner simply doesn't understand you, view it as an opportunity to get to know each other better. Your partner may not comprehend your perspective, but you may not understand theirs either. So think about why they said what they said. What might they be feeling? What could have been their reasoning? And how did you present your viewpoint? Could there be a misunderstanding? Did they misinterpret you? In any relationship, the answers to these questions are often much simpler than expected, and you'll find that the solution to a disagreement is much closer and more manageable than you think. As a result, you'll understand each other better and strengthen the relationship, both very positive outcomes. Marcus Aurelius has a very useful quote about trying to understand others. Whenever someone has done you wrong, immediately consider what notion of good or evil they had when doing it. For when you see that, you'll feel compassion instead of astonishment or rage. Thinking from the other person's perspective is a wonderful way to start forming positive thoughts about your seemingly negative interactions with them. If you think rationally and first change your perspective on the situation and your thoughts, your emotions will follow suit. Here's how it works. If your thoughts are predominantly negative, you'll likely feel worse, but if you steer your thoughts towards the positive, your emotional state will improve. Every situation can be viewed in various ways, and there's always a more positive or more negative way to perceive it. By controlling your thoughts, you control your emotions. 3. Embrace negative visualization. Marcus Aurelius once advised us, at the start of each day, remind yourself, today I will be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. One common experience we all share is the tendency to envision worst-case scenarios. Often, this kind of contemplation feels destructive, inducing anxiety and panic over a hypothetical event that is unlikely to happen. Certainly, these thoughts tend to surface just before a significant presentation, when trying to sleep at night, or when already dealing with existing concerns. And in response to these thoughts, panic sets in. We attempt to push the thought away or succumb to the anxiety it brings. Consequently, we dismiss these thoughts as useless and try to avoid them. However, this strategy also has its drawbacks. If something adverse occurs, you may be completely shaken and unsure of how to react. Here lies the key to harnessing worst-case scenario imagination for your benefit, dealing with it appropriately. Stoics refer to this method of envisioning the worst case as negative visualization. Negative visualization is most effective when done consciously. So when contemplating a specific action, such as giving a presentation, taking on a new job, selling products, or going on a date, take a moment to realistically ponder the worst-case scenarios. Sit down, close your eyes, and contemplate realistically, what is the worst that could happen? As you begin to imagine such scenarios, you'll likely immediately feel a wave of anxiety. You may want to stop, panic, or even cry. This is the challenging part. Resist giving in to these feelings. Stay composed and observe your worst-case scenario as if you were a spectator. In other words, approach it objectively. Now start asking yourself questions. What could I do to handle this situation? Or how could I feel better if this happened? Essentially, you're developing a coping strategy. By the end, you won't be haunted by sudden what-if thoughts because you've already considered them. Moreover, if the worst does happen, you won't be paralyzed on the spot. Instead, you'll know exactly what to do. So, how does this aid in emotional control? It's simple. Consider the contrast between delivering a prepared presentation versus an unprepared one. While nervousness may be present in both scenarios, the latter is undoubtedly a situation where emotions are more intense and harder to dismiss. In the former, you can distract yourself from nervousness and anxiety by mentally rehearsing your speech or tactics. When your mind attempts to torment you with what-if scenarios, you can strategize for those situations. When your body trembles, you can find distraction by mentally rehearsing your speech again. Preparation serves as a remedy against emotions. They will be present, but they won't overpower you. Negative visualization isn't solely beneficial when taking risks or trying something new. It works best as a daily practice. If you take a moment each morning to consider that the day ahead might present challenges, you'll face the day more prepared. This isn't because you're anticipating a bad day, but because you'll know what to do if it happens. Marcus Aurelius particularly engaged in this daily version of negative visualization. It guided him through his day. This practice will help you be prepared for all possible situations, feel more confident in everything you do, and as a result, be less susceptible to sudden emotions. 4. Journal your way to emotional mastery. Meditate often on the good things in your life. Contemplate the stars and see yourself running with them. Constantly consider the transformations of elements into one another, for such thoughts wash away the dust of earthly life. Marcus Aurelius. Certainly, challenging your thoughts in the moment they arise can be quite demanding. One powerful practice that Marcus Aurelius often embraced, and that can greatly assist in mastering your emotions, is the act of journaling. Not for documenting mundane daily activities, but for delving into your emotions and thoughts. When you write something down, you give yourself the space to think about it, to reflect on it. This is a practice widely recommended by therapists and celebrated in psychology articles. Journaling, especially about emotions and feelings, has proven to be exceptionally beneficial for mental well-being. However, Cultivating a new habit is more challenging than it may seem. Start by dedicating 10 to 20 minutes each day to writing in your journal, perhaps every night before bedtime. Don't be disheartened if you miss a day or can't make it a daily ritual. The key is to engage in this practice whenever possible, even if not as frequently as you'd like. To make writing about your feelings more accessible, consider responding to specific prompts. For instance, what emotions did I experience today? What events triggered them? How did I respond? What thoughts accompanied these emotions? Do I still resonate with these thoughts? Can I transform them into something more positive? These prompts invite concise responses. Just a word or a phrase will suffice, though you can dive deeper if time and energy permit. Imagine someone grappling with a strong emotion like frustration or anger, unable to control it in the moment. Consequently, they lashed out at their partner who didn't deserve it. The thoughts preceding such an outburst might be irrational, with phrases like, "They deserved it," or "We should break up now," or even more self-deprecating, "I'm a useless person." When journaling at night to reflect on your day, document what triggered, say, your shout, or what caused your anger. Capture the thoughts you had. Later, assess if you still align with those thoughts, or if replacing them with new, more empathetic, rational, or constructive beliefs would be more beneficial. The journal provides you with the ability to reshape your thoughts and, consequently, your emotions, feelings, and behavior. 5. Remember that life is fleeting. In our concluding quote from Marcus Aurelius in this video, he advises, "Contemplate the life you've led up to this point, as concluded, and, like a man who has passed away, view what remains as a bonus. Live in harmony with nature. Embrace the hand fate has dealt you and play it as if it were your own, for what could be more fitting?" This piece of wisdom plays a pivotal role in helping Stoics maintain control over their emotions, the constant reminder that life is fleeting. Marcus Aurelius's interpretation, as we just shared with you, encourages living each day as if it were your last, yet with a significant twist that makes it even more powerful. Rather than urging you to be careless about the future, as the common saying, "Live as if you could die tomorrow," might imply, it motivates you to care even more about it. It's more of a live as if you died yesterday. Consider what you would do with your life if it ended right now. Would you feel a sense of fulfillment? Would you have become the person you've always aspired to be? Probably not. Complete satisfaction often eludes us. However, framing life in this manner compels you to contemplate the broader picture. What truly deserves your focus, and what constitutes a waste of valuable time? If you had passed away yesterday, would the events of the past week still hold the same importance as they did when you were alive? Perhaps you spent the week fretting over a school or work deadline, engaging in a disagreement with a family member, or opting to stay in bed for days due to a breakup. Would you have made those choices if you were aware it was the last week of your life? Highly unlikely. Would you have actively pursued becoming the person you aspire to be? Marcus Aurelius consistently urges us to bear in mind that life is ephemeral and can conclude abruptly. By keeping this in mind, we are prompted to concentrate solely on what genuinely matters to us. Expenditure of excessive time and energy on transient setbacks, such as deadlines, conflicts, or sorrow, should be avoided. At the very least, these setbacks should not impede our pleasure and productivity in life. Consequently, whenever immersed in a situation causing distress, ask yourself, does this hold genuine importance in the grand scheme of my life? Picture yourself under extreme stress due to an unrealistic goal or an entirely irrational deadline. Take a moment to step back and inquire, will this still hold significance in a week, in a year? If not, ease up. But what if your answer is yes? Failure to meet a deadline or achieve a goal may result in job termination or course failure. However, how likely is this scenario? If it seems probable, contemplate whether you can realistically complete the task within the stipulated time frame. If yes, formulate a plan. If not, consider discussing your situation with the relevant authority. As a precautionary measure, plan for the worst-case scenario. If you fail the course, is it genuinely the end of the world? Most likely, you can retake it next year, explore an alternative course of study, or secure employment, instead of pursuing further education and recover independently. The benefits of taking a step back and evaluating the significance of your concerns are immense. By doing so, you'll realize that nothing is as devastating as it initially appears, and there are always more options than you initially thought. To generalize this approach, when intense emotions arise due to a particular situation or circumstance, take a step back and pose the following questions to yourself. What long-term impact will this have on my life? How can I continue to savor life, even in the worst-case scenario? What alternative options have I overlooked? Is it genuinely worth the worry in the grand scheme of things? Adopting a broader perspective can be remarkably calming. The more adept you become at considering all the effects and options in any given situation, the more you'll realize that situations no longer trigger overwhelming emotions. Keeping this in mind allows you to maintain a state of calm and balance. Thanks for watching.